right. So basically, Chris, for the record, just spell your first and last name for me.
Chris, and the last name's Permenter, Permenter.
Okay, and Chris, you own a body shop, or how would you
own a business? We do paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and window tint. We take care of a lot of the higher end cars around Shreveport, Bossier, and we're starting to get into the daily driver market. But like I said, I had a client living up in south of Shreveport. So when we were coming back with he has a F-350 pickup truck he's actually getting ready to get rid of. So we were headed on 3132, and I got over to get up on 49, go north, and my helper, my tenor, who was behind me in my pickup truck, I noticed he went straight. And like I said, I kind of thought he was just like, I'm going to go this way, Chris will go that way. We'll see who kind of meets at the shop first. But when I got up on 49, I look in my rearview mirror, and all I can really see is a guy's forehead and like the top of his car. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe I cut this guy off. Like maybe I did something wrong, and my mistake. Well, we get up there, I'm doing about 50, waiting for the guy to pass me. He never would pass me. So we speed up to about 80, and he, like, when I let off the gas, like, he didn't even like slow down. He just drove right into the back of the truck. But he tried to miss it, but he caught the headlight, bumper, and fender of his car kind of looks like what ran up underneath the truck, because there wasn't a whole lot of damage to this truck. I mean, this is an F-350, and we're talking a Nissan Sentra Altima. And instead of it de-escalating the situation, like when he actually hit me, he veered around me and got right up to my driver window and was fixing to turn his car into the side of the truck. And so I locked the truck up, and he missed the truck except for the mirror hit. There's like one dent on the fender where he hit, the mirror hit, and it knocked the mirror off. I think he hit the barrier wall. I can't exactly remember, but I had enough room to maneuver around him. And at this point, I'm on the phone with 911 talking to dispatch. And I start going, I get back up on interstate. We're probably doing about 100 miles an hour. I'm telling the dispatch, I'm like, hey, I've got this person behind me. I don't know what their intentions are. Like, I don't think it's to stop and exchange information. Well, we end up driving to SPD. We file a report and everything. But he actually, right after 70th Street, I couldn't tell if I'm assuming he locked up and pulled over to the left side of interstate. So we get to SPD, we file a report and everything. And I didn't have a driver's license on me. So I called, my driver's license was actually in my truck and my tenor was in. So I called him, I was like, hey, can you come by SPD? I said, I need my driver's license because I got into like this, hit and run deal. He goes, well, dude, did you see the Nissan that almost ran me off the road? He goes, that's why I couldn't get over behind you, because when I tried to get over, he was like, blocking me from getting over, and was just, apparently he was driving erratically then.
So he was trying to block your tenor who was behind you, and then your tenor was able to get off the interstate to go a different way back to the office, and then he ended up behind you at that point.
And I even asked my tenor, I was like, well, did I cut him off? Like, because my tenor said he was coming off of Ellerby Line Road or Ellerby and Line Avenue to come up on that on-ramp. I said, well, did I cut him off when I moved over? And he said, dude, you didn't do anything. Like, he was, when you moved over, he was still a good ways back when I was trying to get over. He just sped up and wouldn't let me over.
This appears to be a pretty aggressive driver, because you were saying that he was getting ready to kind of ram you, where he did. Right. Off to the side, instead of pulling over to say, hey, I hit you, let's exchange information. So it's a person, this is why you went to social media, to get him off the street, basically. I
mean, because like it's one of those things, like I said, I understand road rage. I mean, we all get irritated driving. People, we're in a hurry, whatever it may be. But when you have kids in a car, it makes the situation completely different. I'm sitting here driving, and I'm trying to assess the situation where my daughter's screaming and crying in the background, and I'm trying to, navigate this situation to where, how do I keep her and myself safe and not do something that my daughter can't unsee? It's one of those things, like, if it's me in a truck, it is what it is. If we have to stop and handle it, we have to stop and handle it. But this is my kid. It takes it to a whole different level then. And we've already been through, Caden's had cancer. That's what started this whole business, so that's my baby girl. So
yeah. You want to protect her. I understand that. And so basically, with the rash of hit and runs that have happened in the last few weeks, really, whether they were, vehicle with vehicle or vehicle with a pedestrian, I think just the rule in all of this is just to pull over if you hit something or somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like if you do, I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, like life's so hectic right now with everything going on. Like I understand people's, fears, frustrations, aggravations, but I mean, cars are not something you want to make bad decisions in because it's not like something you can undo once it happens. Cars are pretty dangerous. Those speeds are pretty dangerous, and metal is very pliable at that speed. So.
And so you think that maybe this car may show up at one of the local body shops and they should be aware?
I do, because the vehicle had to have been, I would say, at least 2017 or newer, like before, my wife got into med school and residency. I worked for paint companies, supply companies. So I know a lot of the body shop owners. And so I reached out to a couple of them yesterday just to kind of be on the lookout, because the damage is significant. The car's too new. I mean, I'm sure it's drivable, but you're going to have to get it fixed. I know the headlight's not operable. The mirror's hanging off. So, I mean, they're going to have to get something fixed at some point.
Right. Anything else you think we should know?
The only thing I knew, that the guy that was driving, the way my daughter described him to the police officer, was a middle-aged white male, beard, full-grown beard. She said he had tattoos on both arms. She said he was bald. I can't remember. I didn't pay that much attention to his head when I looked over. I just remember seeing. I did see tattoos. I didn't see a full beard. It was a charcoal gray. I'm pretty sure it was either a Sentra or Altima. Like I said, I never was behind them to get a tag number or anything like that, because I was just trying to create distance and get us out of there before anything escalated.
Right. She's pretty observant. How old is she now?
She's 8 now.
She's 8. Wow. Okay. She probably could do a better description than me.
I mean, when he asked her, I was just in amazement. I'm like, even as stressful as that situation was for her, she was able to capture all that information. So.
At one point, did you think that it would escalate? Because if he is that aggressive, that a weapon would.
I did, when he hit me and made the maneuver to the side and did what he did, I kind of knew, you're not willing to stop and pull over and ask me to exchange information. Like we're kind of past that point. Like I said, normally if you do that and you rear end somebody, like I said, normally you kind of come down off of your anger, like, oh no, like this just became real. You're not really, to me, in your right mind to hit something and then just continue to be like, oh, well, let's do more damage before we resolve this. So no, I didn't think for a second, once it escalated past the rear end, that it was going to be a civil conversation or exchange between anybody.
Right. Or if he even had a weapon.
Right. And I mean, and that's the thing, is I didn't have anything on me. I do carry in my truck, and I wasn't in my truck. So I knew there, I have no way to do anything other than just create distance. Mm-hmm. What was that? I was going to say something. I can't remember now. That's what I was going to say. So being the situation, when it happened, I went to the police, and as soon as I got done with the police, I called a friend of mine that owns RV Collision to get the repairs done, but it tells me that this individual is not, it's like this, regardless if me and you had a hit and run and I ran away, one of us was aggressive, at some point, somebody's got a call to make a claim, whether that be, the body shop or, to file a report, whatever it may be. And neither, as far as I know, after I've talked to Corporal Bass, none of that's been done. He hasn't reached out or made a claim. So it tells me there's more to this than probably just a hit and run.
Wow.
Otherwise, I mean, even if it was me and the person ran, I still want to get my car fixed.
Right. So now the client's car that you had that you were supposed to get ready for, now you're going to have to pay the repairs. You're having to shell out money.
Fortunately, like I said, I can say Ford builds a really tough truck. I mean, there was very minimal damage. There was a few little, scrapes that polished out. And like I said, the main thing was a dent on the front fender, which, there's enough good PDR guys around here that, we'll get it taken care of. And it was fortunate that there wasn't any damage, but it was just very unfortunate that it happened in a client's truck that, with just completely unforeseen circumstances. Right. And I'm lucky enough to have a client that understands, his first concern was well, are you and your daughter okay? I can replace the truck. I'm not worried about that. So we've got some good clientele.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris.